Hi, everyone. Welcome to Weekly Wrap on Tips and Toes with Jen Sheets. I'm Jen Sheets, and Weekly Wrap, if you haven't tuned in before, is just what it is. It's a way to wrap up our week and talk about the positive things that have happened for us and to share some life stories and things that we've learned. So, I would love it if you would share below something positive that happened to you this week or something that you accomplished that you're proud of. I'd like to fill the internet with all positive stories. So if you want to go ahead and comment below on this live, that would be great. I'd love to hear your stories. So we had a really busy week and continue to have really busy weeks with Color Street and through Tips and Toes. We are busy getting ready for spring, and we've got some beautiful nail strips coming out. I cannot wait for you guys to see them. Not only that, we are getting ready for our foundation work for March, and that is to support developmental disabilities. And we launched Unstoppable this week, and it's an incredible, bright, colorful strip that has all different colors that represent the ribbons of all developmental disabilities. There's ADHD, Down syndrome, autism, all the different ribbons on that strip. And I've had so many people ask me, like, what do the ribbons represent? It's incredible. I will read it to you because I don't want to leave anybody out. I'm inclusive. Developmental disabilities is about being inclusive. So, attention deficit disorder, epilepsy, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, muscular dystrophy, ADHD, multiple sclerosis, and sensory processing disorder syndrome. So all of the developmental disabilities are represented there on that nail strip. Um, I have the good fortune of working with a group of women here in Michigan that are all real good customers of mine that are special education teachers. And I'm super, super excited to bring Michelle Ward on with us tonight. Michelle also is part of that group, and she's going to tell you what she does now and talk about, her positives and her challenges, which I think is always interesting to hear from their perspective, from a teacher's perspective. But she's also going to talk about the work that she did with Best Buddies when she was training to be a teacher. So I'm going to bring Michelle on right now, and I cannot wait to hear her story. So let's bring her on. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Wow.
Welcome, welcome. I'm so grateful that you're coming on to talk about Best Buddies with us tonight.
Yeah, of course. It's very exciting. I was very shocked and very pumped when I saw that that was the organization and the foundation that Color Street was working with this month. So I was like, hey, I know that. I've done that before.
Doesn't that feel good? It's so nice. It's so nice for me to see that it touches somebody that I'm connected to. So it's
Yeah.
wonderful. We actually have a
Sometimes,
woman on our team that has a son with developmental disabilities. She was super excited about it too. So
yeah, it's a lot of times we see like some of the typical like foundations and like with cancer and just like other very like the things that we support all the time, which we should. So it was just very shocking, but also very exciting to see that like Best Buddies, because I've never seen that kind of supported in such a big way before, outside of the work that I did in college with it. So that was really cool.
So that's what I love about Color Street. And when we do pick our foundations, what's really cool is we pick foundations that are not giantly mainstream and where the proceeds of the money we raise really go directly to the people who need the support, which is
Yeah,
what I really like. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So why don't you share a little bit about what you do now and what led you to what your journey was to doing your job?
Yeah, so right now I am a special education teacher. I right now I'm working with grades 3 through 5, and I have a self-contained classroom of students with emotional impairments.
Uh,
Um, so my kids that I'm with right now don't necessarily have any type of cognitive impairments, but they more so struggle in the way of they have a harder time expressing themselves with their emotions, which usually kind of lead to more behavior difficulties within the classroom and with larger settings. So dealing with a lot of ADHD, a lot of mood type of disorders, things like that.
but
So
when you can't communicate, that must be the most frustrating thing on earth,
yeah,
right?
and their way of communication is the bad behavior, frustration of, yelling, swearing, throwing things, just because they're just, it's so easy for us to be like, I'm really frustrated with it right now, so we need to talk this out, or I need to take a break, and we can talk about this later. It's easy for us to do that, and the kids that I work, they really struggle with that. So it's very hard for them to identify and then be able to say, like, I need a second, like, I need to get myself together. So that's the population that I've currently working with. I've been working with them. This is my 6th year working with this population of kids. It's tiring. It's very exhausting, but they are fantastic kids. They are really, really good deep down. But I'm certified to work with them, and I'm also certified to teach students with cognitive impairments as well, which is where a lot of these, the Down syndrome, all of the other, the people that Best Buddy works with intellectual disabilities, I am also certified to teach them as well. So that's what I'm currently doing right now. In high school, we had a program in high school that it was called a class that was actually called Buddies Working Together. And so I was actually paired with a student that was in a special education classroom. So they received special ed services, and I was their like buddy in one of their classes. So I would like help them take notes or help them with their assignments. I was essentially their buddy to help them kind of get through a gen ed class that they were working through. I had the pleasure of working with the same kid a couple times, and he was just hilarious. We did a cooking class together. I helped him through yoga class. That's kind of when I knew that I wanted to work with people who had disabilities. I kind of always wanted to like teach. I think that's sometimes just a very popular thing to like, I'm going to be a teacher one day,
Right.
I'm going to stand at a board and teach you math problems. But it was kind of that program in high school that kind of geared me toward wanting to work with people who had disabilities. So that's what special education was kind of the route that I decided to go when I started college.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me, what positives you take away from your job on a weekly basis?
It's sometimes it's hard to find that, but
With everything.
I really enjoy helping people in general. I really love working with kids. They're just so interesting to me, and just the way their minds work. And I do like the elementary level of kids. What I do specifically in my classroom, it takes a lot of patience, and it kind of takes a lot of understanding of, and just kind of being really flexible with, knowing where these kids come from. So, daily it's a struggle, because it's, they want to argue, they just have bad days. It can be very frustrating, but I kind of know that at the end of the day, I had my hours of time with these kids, and maybe we didn't do something academic. We didn't, we're not learning the next bit of math that we're supposed to be learning, but I know that they had a positive interaction with me or with another kid in the classroom. And they're just kind of, I know that I'm helping them kind of in a way learn how to just be a kid, because some of them just kind of struggle being a kid. They struggle with making friends and interacting with people, and sometimes when they're playing a game and we have to stop and we have to talk about why that's not the right thing to say to somebody in the middle of your Uno game. So I just for me, I just know that it doesn't seem like a lot all the time, but I know that I'm teaching these kids how to use their sense of humor in the correct way. How can you be sarcastic with people without, coming off as really rude and a mean kid? For me, that's kind of like the rewarding part of it, is that I'm kind of helping them as, they're getting older to understand how to, be appropriate, how to eventually and hopefully, become a productive member of society. And I've had kids that I worked with when they were in elementary school that have moved up into through middle school, now entering high school, that have like made such tremendous growth and have done such a an awesome job as they've kind of continued on with their education. So it's nice knowing that I kind of had a little, hopefully a little bit of an impact on helping them be the most successful that they can be, because they definitely all have those capabilities. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. Just coming from a parent's point of view, it must be a very big relief for the parents of the children that you help. It's probably an incredible relief for them.
yeah, and it is nice that when I've had parents come back, I had a very frustrating day like on Tuesday with one student in particular that I've been working with for, this is the second year that I've had him now, and we just had a really tough day, and it was late Tuesday night, and his mom is like, I know that this is like your job, and I know that you know how to do it, but I just I can't thank you for all the work that you do and the time and the energy that you put into trying to help him today, and make sense of things and get through things. So it is the recognition from parents. It doesn't come often, but every once in a while when it comes through, it's a little reassurance. So
Yeah. I mean, really, the fact that they feel comfortable dropping their children off to you is probably the biggest compliment.
yeah, yeah,
It's a challenge. I mean, even with, I know from my point of view, with just my son, he's normal functioning. There doesn't have those
yeah,
issues, but when anything goes wrong for your kids, or they're challenged in any way, it breaks your heart immediately. So
yeah.
yeah.
And by the time the kids usually get to me and being in my classroom, they've had a challenging education up until the point.
I'm sure.
It's just, it can be very difficult dealing with behaviors and extreme behaviors. So it just, from this, a lot of them started having these behaviors when they were so young and so little, so they would miss a lot of school because they would get sent home. And it's just very, situations are just very frustrating. So sometimes they haven't just had the most positive school experience leading up to this. So my goal is to always try to get them, school is a place we need to be. It can be fun. It's not always going to be easy, but we're here for a reason. We're here for a purpose. They have the capability to do so. So that's, I like it. So
Yeah, I mean, I know you women, all of you that I interact with through your group, and I know you all to be very loving, compassionate women. So I'm very proud to be associated with you and your group of women.
yeah,
So
we
um,
work hard. We try.
yeah, it's obvious. I see the compassion daily, so it's really nice. Tell me a little bit about the work you did with Best Buddies. I know that they do integration in terms of like jobs and friendships and things. Tell me a little bit about
Yeah.
that.
So I went to Grand Valley for my undergrad. I don't remember. I mean, it's so going into college, and they're always like, we have all these clubs and all these things to do, and so when I ended up learning kind of about Best Buddies, I knew that it was working with people who had these developmental disabilities, which is kind of how I got started, in doing it. So basically, our college chapter, which I did just look up, there's like U of M, MSU, like Wayne State, Western, kind of some of the big name colleges all have chapters at their universities, and a couple of high schools in Ann Arbor actually have similar programs. But basically, what we did is we were, as college buddies is what we were called, we were actually paired up one-on-one with people in the surrounding communities that had intellectual and developmental disabilities. So we would kind of like fill out a little questionnaire kind of about who we were, what type of people we were, and things that we liked. And there is the Best Buddies organization within the community, within like the Grand Rapids area. They had people on the other, side of it, buddies. And then what we did is we kind of did like a matching, and then they paired us together.
Oh, fun.
So when I started, my buddy, she was Yvonne. She was just wonderful, very happy, super bubbly. And what we did kind of as a chapter is we would plan monthly, like big events. That you would bring your buddy to these events, because Best Buddies is all about like really like just really working on getting that like connect and that friendship between kind of like breaking that line between like people with disabilities and people without disabilities. Because I mean, they're definitely, I mean, it's uncomfortable sometimes if people aren't used to situations like that. Like, people don't know what to do, what to say, you know, how to interact. So just kind of like breaking that barrier. So we plan things like we would go bowling. So you would have your buddy dropped off, or people who had cars could pick up their buddy and we'd take them out and we'd go bowling. We'd plan like movie nights on campus. We did like a Halloween party. Um, we just like, we just did all these events, and then we one-on-one hung out with our buddy individually. So there's a couple times I just went to Yvonne's house and I hung out at her house. We, you know, just whatever she was interested in doing. We made bracelets, we did crafty things, we would watch movies, but just really trying to create that relationship between, you know, us college kids
Well,
and
yeah.
people that were, you know, and they were all similar age. I know to do it, they had to be within like a certain age, you know, so we were all around the same age. And a lot of them, on the other, you know, side of it, obviously us in the organization, we knew each other from being on campus and classes and similar majors. And on the other side, you know, they were in groups together. They were in organizations, you know, if the Special Olympics, if they did that, you know, so they all kind of knew each other as well. We would bring everybody in for big, you know, big group events, and we would hang out in like smaller settings as well. So just really trying to, you know, just break that barrier, make, you know, they know that, you know, they can have friendships with anybody, showing everybody else that, you know, that it's not scary to have a friendship with somebody who has a disability. But I do know that the bigger, you know, more worldwide Best Buddies, they do work on leadership skills. They work on, you know, integrating employment for these, for people, you know, getting them jobs, getting them employed, getting them working. And then also just like inclusive living situations, so that they can have those skills to be living on their own, or in like a group home setting with other people.
Yeah, this is amazing. I mean, when you think of how alienated these kids must feel,
Yeah.
and that like they, and just like you said, they to learn to be a kid and do the normal things that kids do, and they don't always get to do that because they A, don't have friends that invite them to do those things, or B, it's just challenging and scary and different for people to integrate with them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You know,
great for.
we just planned events. We would do fundraisers. You know, when you posted about it, I went through and I did pull some pictures. So I'll post them
Yes.
when we're done, of just some. But you know, it's, you know, when you get to do something that you're just not used to doing, and for a lot of, you know, these people, you know, you think about being 20 something and not having that typical college experience, or, you know, just a big circle of friends, or, you know, some of the pictures, we threw a Halloween party. And I have some pictures. I think like an officer, so I was kind of like on the board that helped make the decisions and plan things. I remember having a duffel bag and just filling it with a bunch of toilet paper from my residence hall that I lived in, so we could do like the mummy rap game. So I have a picture of us doing the mummy rap game. It just, you know, things that they're just typically not used to doing.
Are not
Um,
invited to do.
you know, and yeah, things that they've just never been a part of. So we would have, at Grand Valley in our big student center, they would always be playing free movies. So sometimes we'd just go there, get some snacks, watch a movie. We organized other fundraisers and events to give back to the community, to give back to Best Buddies, because it was just, you know, a lot of the people that were a part of it, you know, it was more than just like joining in doing something, because I do feel you have to have a certain understanding of who you're going to be working with and what you're going to be doing. But it was just so much fun. You just, you know, and it was nice because if you did it year after year, you could get paired with the same buddy. So some people had, I mean, a lasting, you know, friendship and relationship for many years with a lot of these individuals. John was like kind of the head person or like contact person for, the people on the disability side. And he is just a fantastic man, and he's just so funny. He does have a disability, but he was fantastic. He was so passionate. He loved all the events. He loved helping us plan things and being involved, and just kind of, giving him that, sense of he can really do something great. We made sure to send him on one of the leadership developments that, we went to. So just kind of giving him an opportunity that he may have never had, the chance to be a part of. We did big events on campus of Spread the Word to End the Word, which is a big campaign about kind of diminishing the use of the word retarded in our vocabulary, since it has such a negative, negative meaning behind it now, because it's been misused in, such a way. So, we organize campus events, just trying to, spread the word, get the word out there, and kind of get people, more involved. So,
yeah, that's incredible work.
Yeah.
So what's important to know, if you were talking to somebody who didn't know about Best Buddies, what's important to know is there's chapters in all neighborhoods, it sounds like.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So bestbuddies.org is the website that you can go to that has all the information about it. And you can actually go and, like I said, I just searched up Michigan just to see and there was a lot of college chapters that they have, but there's other volunteering that you can do within the, organization, donating money to help their cause, but they are, nationwide, and they did have a tab, I saw a part about being international as well. So they are kind of working, in a global sense, they're just, like they said, we just want people to have relationships. They're just literally best buddies. It's right in the name. They're just trying to, foster those friendships between people of all types. So no matter what.
Some of the simplest things to do if you don't have a developmental disability is to have friends and have those relationships. It also can be very challenging. And with the internet and social media now, there's just so much the kids have to deal with.
Yes.
I can't even imagine dealing with a developmental disability on top of that. So
yes. Yeah. So it's,
awesome.
It's definitely, it's a great organization, a nonprofit. They just really fostering a lot of, good feelings to people all around the place. So it's definitely very exciting. So anybody that can support, definitely support. And the strips are just awesome anyway. So
cute, aren't they? Yeah.
Even if they weren't attached to anything, they're just so colorful and they're fun and they're bright to have anyway. So
yeah, I love them. I thought they were really cute, and I'm super, super glad we chose this foundation for March.
Yeah.
So if you have a takeaway for us, what's your takeaway?
Be accepting to all people. I see all the time is that, you never really know the battles that somebody's facing. And I think, sometimes with intellectual and, developmental disabilities, you can see they're people too. They're just, they learn differently. They do things differently. A lot of them have probably had more struggles than any of us have, ever come across and know. And a lot of times, they're looking for that friendship. They're looking for the socialization, of things. And, whatever, if you can get out and if you can support, that's fantastic. If not, just, be, I guess, self-aware out in public and in situations that, that you're kind of faced with. So.
Perfect. I love that so much. I can't tell you how thankful I am that you came on. I've got one more request. I need to see those nails on you, girl, because I am feeling that vibe. Show those what you got. What are you wearing?
What? This is it's the clear one with the like rose goldish. Good. Yeah, that one. Yeah, it's just on top of some like regular like brown polish that I had.
That is
the other night.
Every time you move your hand.
No, I didn't need to see it. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
just
that's my
goes with you, your
most
cute little
recent.
cheeks, it matches you completely.
Yeah. I didn't have
So
anything that I really wanted to put underneath, but I kind of had this like mauvey brown that I had a gel polish that I had. So I put that on first and then I put those strips over top. So
that it looks gorgeous. Just you're adorable. I
thank
absolutely
you.
adore you. So,
I had to put a headband back on because I was trying to like get ready to like, Friday night unwind and I was
oh,
like, nope, I got a date with Jen at 9.
yes, yes. Oh, I love it. We should date more often. I
For
love it.
sure, definitely.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, and I thank you for all that you do and for coming on. And I can't wait to see the pictures that you share.
Yeah, I'll drop them right now. I'll put them in the comments on this video. So
Uh, Perfect. Thanks so much, Michelle.
you're
I
very
really appreciate it.
welcome.
Have a wonderful weekend
All
and a
right.
great
Yeah,
night.
you too.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was amazing. And again, $2 from the sale. There's my dog. Sorry, $2 from the sale of every strip for Unstoppable goes towards the Best Buddies Foundation. And we are selling them now online. They launched this week and they will be sold through the month of March to raise $100,000 for Best Buddies. So if you feel inclined to help with that cause and jump in and donate, the strips are adorable. They're colorful and fun and easy to put on. So I hope that you guys had a good time and enjoyed learning about this foundation work. I am thrilled that we had the opportunity to talk to Michelle and learn all about what she does. So you have an amazing weekend. Don't forget, if you had something wonderful, share it with me below. And I can't wait to applaud you. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a good night.